Hey there, Noble! It's me. It's Mr. Wilbur. It's Monday. Is this season 6 or season 7? I don't know. Season 6 or 7, episode 1 of your Noble High School morning announcements. And before we go any further, I want to give a huge congratulations to Ms. Riley. On Thursday, April 30th at 2:54 p.m., Elijah McGowan Riley was born, coming in at 8 pounds 3 ounces and 20.5 inches long. Everybody's happy, everybody's healthy. I could not be more excited for you, Ms. Riley, and your family, which is now a bit larger. Look at that face! So as was discussed at length on Friday, today is Monday, which means it's Monday Pun Day. The first Monday Pun Day to actually take place on a Monday. And this pun comes directly from Corbin Meadows. Hey Mr. Wilbur, I have another pun for you. How much does a pirate pay for corn? A buccaneer. Oof. Aren't you all glad that Monday Pun Day is back in full swing? Moving along, I want to put out a couple more quick reminders. First, this is your last week for course registration. If you have not registered for the courses that you would like to take by Friday, your counselors will pick for you. This is also your last week to put in your orders for your Noble Strong shirts. Remember, all proceeds go to the MSAD 60 food service program. Okay, and now for the big news. I said it was Monday. Did I mention the date? It's Monday, May 4th. It's a holiday. Which holiday, you ask? It's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. May 4th, May the 4th, May the Force. Get it? I know force and fourth aren't technically the same word, but is that another Monday Pun Day pun?
Runner. I'll allow it.
And the only Star Wars regalia I own is the Chewbacca suit. This was a terrible idea. This is like 1,000 degrees. That's right, the franchise that began on May 25th, not quite May the 4th, but then the pun wouldn't work, 1977, with the release of Star Wars, which was retroactively retitled Episode 4, A New Hope. I'm pretty sure it received its retitle upon re-release after the release of the sequel. Right? Now, I already stirred up quite a controversy a few weeks back when I posted my ranking of all the Star Wars films. But let's talk about watch order. Supposedly Disney is releasing Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, to Disney Plus today, a full 2 or 3 months early, as a quarantine gift.
Less of a quarantine gift and more of a we need more subscribers, we gotta make money during this pandemic, but
That means you can finally watch all 9 episodes of the saga, plus the side movies. But that begs the question, what order to watch them in? I have strong opinions about this, especially if you have never seen any of the Star Wars movies. And those people exist.
one of my very good friends had never seen a single Star Wars movie until 2015 when she was 25 years old and she went and saw The Force Awakens. So then she went back and watched the rest of the films leading up to that point.
So if you are one of those people who have never seen a Star Wars movie, what order should you watch them in? There's 2 schools of thought. There's the in-universe chronological order, which if you include the supplemental movies would go
Episodes 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Or you can watch them in the order they were theatrically released.
Episodes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, Rogue One, 8, Solo, 9.
I maintain the absolute best way to experience these films for the first time is that order. Episodes 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy, are obviously designed to be viewed by people who have no knowledge of the backstory. I'm going to do this without any spoilers, even the ones where you're like, everyone knows that. I'm not going to say any of them. There were certain secrets, certain reveals. In Empire Strikes Back, there's a famous scene that if you were not aware that that was going to happen, would blow your mind. In episodes 1, 2, and 3, even though they take place before, those films were created expecting their audience to know what happens later. There's certain scenes that only emotionally resonate with you because you know who these people are later on. There's no other reason to care about C-3PO in Episode 1. Music cues would be completely random without the knowledge of what happened to these people later. Now, there is an argument to be made for a middle ground approach. You could watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Episodes 1, 2, and 3, followed by Return of the Jedi. That way you experience the big reveals spoiler-free and go into it fresh as the filmmakers intended, and then Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are like an extended flashback, all ready to get you prepared for the final battle in Episode 6. There aren't any real big spoilers that way either, just added context.
The one reveal in Return of the Jedi that you could argue would be spoiled really wouldn't be if you paid attention to the last couple scenes of Empire Strikes Back.
As for the recent films, the newest trilogy, and the 2 supplemental movies, either watch the episodes in order, then the 2 supplemental movies, or put them in between. It doesn't really matter. So get your Star Wars on and celebrate. Watch them in any order you like, but just know that if you watch them episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're wrong.
Chewbacca.
Oh, hey!
You should have gone.
It's so hot in this.
What's the noise? What's the noise? You're putting that in.
I'm not good at it. Speaking of May the 4th be with you, I got a Star Wars trivia question for you. Going in order of release date, so starting with Episode 4, who was the first character in the Star Wars franchise to say, "May the Force be with you" on camera? Think about it. Think about it. If you said Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are incorrect. In Episode 4, Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "The Force will be with you, always."
The Force will be with you, always.
First character to say, "May the Force be with you," was this general in the scene where they discuss the battle plan.
And may the Force be with you.
According to Google, his name is General Dodonna. And then Han Solo says it in like the very next scene.
May the Force be with you.
Moving on. Now it's time for our word of the day. Normally brought to you by Mr. Parr, but today brought to you by his associate, Mr. Hedgehog.
Oh, hello. It's Mr. Hedgehog here. Just got me doing a bit of reading. I do love to read, you know. Speaking of which, this week's words of the day all have to do with reading. Today's word of the day is bibliophile. A bibliophile is a lover of books, like yours truly. Well, back to me book.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hedgehog. And now it's time for This Day in History, brought to you by Mrs. Perkins. On this day in 1932, Al Capone begins his life as convict 40886 in Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, serving 11 years for, you guessed it, income tax evasion. You didn't know they got him for not paying taxes? What, you never saw The Untouchables? Brian De Palma, Connery, Costner, De Niro? Check it out. Next up, on this day in 1970, the National Guard opened fire on student protesters at Kent State University. 4 were killed and 10 more were injured. And finally, in 2010, the first oil reaches the Louisiana coast. That oil was from the Deepwater Horizon drilling disaster. And now it's time for our pet of the day. This time it is only just the pet of the day because I didn't receive any staff submissions. Step it up, everybody. We got a few more weeks. I'm gonna need a bunch more pets, staff and students. But that's right, our student pet of the day goes to Lauren Cooley. This is Buddy. He turned 4 years old on April 23rd. Even though it's been about a week and a half, happy birthday, Buddy. All right, so that does it for today's announcements. So at this point, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everybody, have a fantastic Monday, a great week. May the Force be with you, and remember, stay noble, knights.